Hello everyone, and welcome to some background information about how to go about your summer reading project, especially with regard to annotating. How do you annotate a text? Well, first of all, we are encouraging students to go about their summer reading project in a different fashion from years past by working with some new titles and retaining some of the old ones as well, but asking you to really throw yourself into your reading experience and to become involved in a conversation with the text of your selections. So each grade level is going to have a number of choices, and you are required to read two of those choices. And unlike in the past, where you could perhaps download the novel or piece on a digital way, in a digital fashion, or you could go to the library and pick up a library copy. Now we are asking that you purchase the two books that you're going to be reading because you're going to have to write in them. And we ask that you write your name in big letters across the binding. You can sort of see it here if you look very carefully. On the binding, you'll put your last name in big letters so that we can ascertain ownership when the time comes for the assessment in September. If you write your name across the binding, then we know, in fact, that this is your book and it's not one that's being shared. So let's say you have your two books and you're about to dive in. When we talk about annotating, the bottom line is we're hoping as teachers and instructors that you will actively read your novels, actively read your books, as opposed to just passively turning pages, not really absorbing anything, perhaps trying to consult Spark Notes just to sort of fill things in. We don't really advocate that. We want you to really enjoy this experience. So when you're thinking about annotating, essentially annotating is having a conversation with the book. You're going to ask yourself questions or comment on reading or mark certain passages. It's basically recording your conversation with the text itself. And there are lots of different ways to do it. You don't want to mark up everything. When you mark up everything, then really nothing stands out. But there are certain items that you can keep an eye on. Definitely plot elements. You can look at key ideas, maybe circle some vocabulary terms that you're not familiar with, specific word choices, literary devices, figurative language, thematic development, characterization, traits of the character, language of the character, things that are said about the character, even symbols. If there are certain objects in a story that seem to carry greater weight than the object itself, then you definitely want to make a note of that. You can use brackets, you can use stars or asterisks, you can use marginal notes, post-its, highlighters, anything you wish. We're not really going to, tell you exactly what you have to annotate and how you should annotate. It's really a personal approach to it. But these annotations will be checked, again, during the course of the assessment when the time comes. But let's, for example, take a look at this novel by Sajal Badani called The Storyteller's Secret. This is an example of post-its that are used to mark different pages that seem to be significant to the reader. And you can see that this particular author, student, highlighted things in different colors. So each color meant something specific to that student. For example, all of the pink references are figurative language, examples of literary devices. Everything that is in yellow might be plot development. So this is moving the plot along. It's getting, events in order. Anything that's labeled in green happen to be characterization, character development, the parallels that appear between one character and another, maybe even hints at later developments or questions about developments that might come up. And anything that is blue might be thematically based. ideas that are brought up that are motifs or themes that will run throughout the story. And you can go back and change and alter them as you go, but you will have access to your book during the assessment. That's why we are so excited about encouraging you to be active readers, to do these sort of close readings, to maybe at the end of a chapter have a post-it that summarizes certain things that happen, or maybe even have a post-it that asks a couple of questions. You could just at the end of particular sections refresh your memory with major plot points, whatever's going to work for you, so that you'll be able to find certain passages or certain areas that you think might be worthwhile in understanding the book as a whole. And so, once again, I myself and all of the teachers in the English department want to approach this summer reading project not as a chore and not as a punishment, but rather an opportunity for you to take a look at 2 books during the course of your 8 or 10 weeks that you're off and really enjoy yourself by creating a conversation between you and the text and pull out of that text things that resonate with you. That's the beauty of language. That's the beauty of writing, and that's the beauty of novels and books. Each person brings something unique to that work. So sometimes you might seize upon a particular character or event or even linguistic reference that means something to you because you are your own unique human being and you have your own set of ideas and thoughts. And so the beauty of this experience is that we want to hear what impact these books had upon you. So I wish you good luck. We all are in your corner. All of us English teachers hope that you can foster a greater love for the written word and that you really do sincerely enjoy yourself with whatever 2 titles you decide to explore.